Hello, and welcome to this sleeper activity, an opportunity for you to understand your sleep better. My name is Rocky Garrison, and I am a licensed psychologist and certified in behavioral sleep medicine by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. I specialize in treating insomnia and conditions associated with sleeplessness, worry, rumination, anxiety, depression, perfectionism, and stress. In this activity, you are invited to complete a sleep diary, an essential part of a comprehensive assessment of insomnia. In order to complete this activity, you will need to go to my website, www.rockygarrison.com, and download the sleep diary, which is on the Client Resources page, which you can get to by clicking on Client Resources in the column on the left. You may also want to download the sleep diary instructions if you want a hard copy of what we will cover in this video. Once you have printed a copy of the sleep diary form, come back to this video. In the February 2012 issue of Sleep, Colleen Carney and a group of sleep specialists completed the 7-year task of generating a standard sleep diary and instructions for use in the assessment of insomnia. Actually, they generated 2 forms, a short form, which is completed daily in the morning, and a long form, which is completed daily in the morning and at bedtime. The diary formats were also evaluated in a series of focus groups made up of good sleepers, insomnia sufferers, and sleep apnea patients to get their opinions regarding optimal content, wording, and format of the items of the diary. The one we are working with is the short form, which is formatted to collect a week of data on a single page and allows you to calculate the sleep parameters that are most salient to the assessment and treatment of insomnia: sleep onset latency, wake time after initial sleep onset, total sleep time, total time spent in bed, and sleep efficiency, which is the percent of time spent asleep out of the time in bed. There is also a rating scale for the quality of the night's sleep. The standardization also creates a uniformity of definition of these parameters, replacing the multitude of forms which have been generated by various sleep labs and clinicians. The long form collects a week of data on 2 pages and adds information regarding daytime napping, alcohol and caffeine consumption, medication usage, and a rating of the restfulness of sleep. Since a nocturnal polysomnograph is not recommended in the assessment of insomnia, the sleep diary has long been considered the gold standard of insomnia assessment. You can see that after the sample column, there are 7 columns, 1 for each day of the week that you are recording sleep data. If possible, you should complete the sleep diary within 1 hour of getting out of bed. After a row for the date, the first row is for recording the time you get into bed. This may not be the time you begin trying to fall asleep. The next row is for the time you begin trying to fall asleep. Then a row for the length of time it took you to fall asleep after you started trying. The person completing the sample got into bed at 10:15 p.m. and tried to go to sleep at 11:30 p.m. and fell asleep 55 minutes later. The next 2 rows are for the number of awakenings you had through the night, not counting your final awakening, and for the total amount of time you were awake during these awakenings. The sample records 3 awakenings for a total of 1 hour and 10 minutes. The next 2 rows are for recording the time of your final awakening and the time you got out of bed, 6:35 a.m. and 7:20 a.m. for the sample. There is a row for rating the quality of your sleep on a 4-point scale and for any comments that you feel are relevant to your sleep. For the assessment of insomnia, we only use a compilation of at least a week of data, never data from just 1 day. Many insomnia therapists have their clients complete a sleep diary all the way through treatment as a way of measuring the impact of the interventions. Sleep onset latency is the average amount of time it takes to fall asleep after starting to try to fall asleep. This is recorded directly on the sleep diary, All you have to do is average your answers for that row. The same is true for wake after sleep onset time, commonly referred to as WASO in the field. All you have to do is average your answer to question 5 on the sleep diary. We have to do some calculations to get the next variables. Time in bed is the duration of time from when you first got into bed, row 1, to the time you got out of bed for the day, row 7. It is best to calculate this in minutes to make it easier to find the average for 7 days. Total sleep time is the duration of time from first trying to fall asleep, row 2, to the time of last awakening, row 6, minus the time it took you to fall asleep, row 3, and WASO, row 5. The last parameter is sleep efficiency, which is total sleep time divided by time in bed. One of the main goals of insomnia treatment is to have the sleep efficiency at 85% or even higher. You can continue exploring sleep efficiency with the sleeper activity called sleep efficiency.